Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well on a Wednesday as we start a new day, Wednesday, May the 30th, and of course, hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully, you folks that are heading to the beach will take all the precautions with this bad weather we've been having. But of course, this is beach week, and all the kids are out of school, and everybody's ready to go. And we're ready to go here on Today in LA. On Facebook, you can see us across the nation. I can't see myself because the TV's not on this morning. Yeah, but we'll have that set up in just a few moments. Of course, a lot of things going on with the elections coming up a week from yesterday, and of course, everybody's real excited about what's happening in the with all the different races. And gosh, we've got some huge races right here in Pike County, and especially in our battle for the Alabama legislature, which is a seat given up by Cheryl Booth, my good friend from Opp, Alabama, been in Pike County a long time, and of course we appreciate all of the hard work that he's put in over the years here as our representative to the legislature. And Alan Booth really needs all the applause that he can get, or deserves today, because I tell you, he's done a super job, and he steps down. And one of these guys, Judge Wes Allen, as a Republican, and Marcus Paramore will be the two guys going head to head for the seat that is left vacant by Alan Booth. A lot of other things going on with school out now. Everybody's getting ready for the summer, those old hot summer days. I was just returning from the beach, and the weather was bad, but it wasn't near as bad as everybody thought it was going to be. It was a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but nothing any worse than a lot of days I've seen down there. And but everything looks real good for the week. Of course, hot temperatures coming in here. In fact, you can expect the 90s the rest of the week. After we get over this little wet time, where we'll still get a few afternoon and evening thunder showers, but right now the weather looks very conducive, especially heading into the weekend. We want to congratulate Coach Mark Smart and his Troy University baseball team. They are in the playoffs, and that is a great honor. Just to make the college baseball playoffs, and of course they'll start play in Athens, Georgia, against the Duke Blue Devils, and that will be on Friday at 1 o'clock from Athens and the University of Georgia. The University of Georgia will play later on in the day against the Campbell University. So the 4 teams in our region that we're concerned about is the Duke Blue Devils, coming off of one of their best years ever in college baseball. They're 40-15 against Troy, 41-19, and that is a 1 o'clock start at Athens, Georgia, this Friday. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to be there. This is a big baseball, and anybody that wants to know more about the game and when it's going to take place, would love to talk to you about it this morning. In fact, I'm going to be there. This is a great, can't think of a better Saturday than to watch my team play in the college baseball NCAA tournament, and so we're excited about that. Troy comes into the game, like I said, with a 41-19 record. Went all the way to the championship game against Coastal Carolina, where they dropped that that game in the last game by giving up 5 runs in the first inning, and you just cannot do that on the way to losing 11-6 to a very good Coastal Carolina team. Troy played very well in the conference tournament, though, and like you said, was undefeated along with Coastal Carolina going into the last game. And Coastal Carolina found a way to beat the Trojans, and they advanced too. But there, let's take a look at some of these tournament brackets and see which ones are some games that we'll be very concerned about. Of course, South Carolina is playing well. They'll be in the Greenville, North Carolina bracket. South Carolina will be playing Ohio State. That game's also at 1 o'clock on Friday. In fact, most all of these games are coming on at 1 o'clock on Friday. So that's when it all starts. Auburn, 39-21, playing in the Raleigh tournament. Raleigh, North Carolina. They'll play Northeastern. Northeastern 36-19 against Auburn 39-21. Also in that bracket, you got Army and North Carolina State. So North Carolina State's 40-16. Army is 36-22. I would think this is a good bracket for Auburn. I think the only team that Mike can play with them would be North Carolina State, and that would be in the second round. Other games, this game's played like we said, in Greenville, North Carolina. You got South Carolina against Ohio State. South Carolina out of the SEC. There were 10 teams out of the SEC that made this tournament, which is unreal for a conference to have 10 out of their 12 to go to the championships. Also in that tournament, University of North Carolina, Wimbledon, let's get this right. Wilmington, 37-21 is at East Carolina. East Carolina is 43-16, and that's that tournament played in Greenville, North Carolina. Clemson makes it to the big tournament again. They'll be playing at home against Morehead State. Clemson 45-14. Morehead State 37-34. And then in the other brackets, the team you got to really be concerned about if you're Clemson is Vanderbilt of the SEC, 31-25 against St. John's, 39-15. Those games do start at 11 o'clock on Friday. Other games to take a look at: Coastal Carolina will be hosting the region now. Then that's something. Coastal will be playing in the Conway, South Carolina tournament on June the 1st, and that would mean UConn 35-20, and Washington 30-23 play at 11 o'clock. Then Brooklyn, where have they come from? At Coastal Carolina, 42-17. Man, this looks like Coastal Carolina is going to cruise through their region. I'll go ahead almost and tell you that I think Coastal will win their. This is about the only one I'll be able to predict like this, but no way is UConn or Washington or Brooklyn going to beat Coastal Carolina. And so Coastal Carolina will move on to the big championship game, which will be played on Monday. I think that's when that will be played. So we'll keep up with that. Of course, we appreciate all our sponsors this morning, and Wise Office Supply, located on South Grundy Street in Troy, of course, for office equipment, office furniture, school supplies, business supplies. Wise Office Supply has been there for us for a long time. Want to also mention Quality Roofing. My good friend Jeff hails from Goshen, Alabama, and they do about as good a job as you'll find anywhere on roofs. And my good friend Adam Renfro at Hooks Barbecue today. Boy, what great barbecue there is at Hooks, and Pike County Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in Birmingham not this past week, but two Saturdays ago. Get out of my car, and the first person I see when I get out of my car to go to my grandchildren's soccer matches was Jeremy Ferrantes, who is the owner and operator of Pike County Ford. Of course, his family's still in Birmingham and will be moving to Troy this summer. But he was getting out, and it just so happened that Jeremy Ferrantes and his little girl were playing against my little granddaughter's team. And his little daughter, thanks to having two 10-year-old sisters, can really play soccer at the age of 4 years old. And I was really, really impressed. But of course, soccer in Birmingham is huge, and there were probably 1,000 kids out there. And it just so happens that I opened my door, and there was Jeremy Ferrantes, who is the owner of Pike County Ford, there getting his kid ready to play soccer. But of course, he's an outstanding individual, and they're looking for a Ford car truck. Believe you me, no better deal anywhere than Pike County Ford right here in Troy. We appreciate First Citizens Bank of Lou Vernon, one of the strong local banks in Alabama. And of course, my good friends William Petrie and Steve Sanders and Charlie Sankey, all those great guys are busy serving a wonderful area in the Luverne, Crenshaw County area, and they do a super job, I promise you. No question about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited about Troy University getting ready to play baseball in Athens, Georgia. Let's look more at these brackets, and we'll go over that. But I've already predicted Coastal Carolina will win their bracket. I just don't see these other teams playing with them, unless it's something about Washington baseball that I don't know about. They were 30-23. But give me Coastal in that bracket right there. Duke 40-15 going up against Troy 41-19. They say this is the best Duke team that that they put on the field in a long time against Troy, and that is a 1 o'clock start. Troy is 41-19. Played at the University of Georgia. Their headquarters will be the Holiday Inn there in Athens, and somebody that can give me more information on that, I'd appreciate it, so we can tell people where the team will be actually situated. I don't know how many Holiday Inns there is in Athens, Georgia, but it could be more than one. Athens is a growing community with a university that has well over 35,000 students. So, and then of course Campbell University of North Carolina, 35-24, playing at Georgia, 37-19. And though I think Troy's in a good bracket, not an easy bracket, but a good bracket, where if they could get by Duke early, they could have a real shot at winning this region and going on to the Super Region, which will be played at a mutual site. And if that's the case, then Troy would have a chance to go to the College World Series, which will be held in Omaha, Nebraska, later on this month. So, hey, we've got as good a chance as anybody. And I was watching a show on the SEC network, and one guy was sort of giving Troy a chance to win their region, or at least be a threat to win their region. So already people are talking about Troy, and they're talking about Troy's pitching. Is Troy's pitching good enough to win at this level? And a lot of people think they do have a great pitching team. Dick Howser Stadium will be the host of another one of the regions in Tallahassee, Florida. Mississippi State 31-25 versus Oklahoma 36-23. That's an 11 o'clock start on Friday. Samford out of Birmingham. You know, Samford won 15 straight games in the middle of the year and lost twice to Troy during the regular season. And But Sanford is 36-24 versus Florida State, 43-17. Of course, that's that's Casey Dunn is the head coach there at Sanford, former Auburn player, and of course his daddy was a legendary coach at Vestavia High School. Sanford 36-24 versus Florida State 43-17. They play at 6 o'clock on Friday night from Tallahassee, and of course Mississippi State and Oklahoma play at 11 o'clock. So there's a lot of distance between these games, and that's something we want to look at closely. Also, out of Gainesville, Florida, red hot Florida Gators were not so red hot down the stretch. They lost 6 out of the last 7 games, and are not playing well right now. But a lot of people think they have probably have the best team in the tournament, but they better play well at the right time. In that tournament starts in Gainesville on Friday at 1 o'clock, or excuse me, 11 o'clock. That'll be Jacksonville University 39-19 versus Florida Atlantic 40-17. These teams are all good down in South Florida. Columbia out of New York, listen to this, 20-28 versus Florida 42-17. So I think that'll be a no-brainer. I think Florida just coasts through this tournament, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Florida is gonna win that region right there. At a game played in DeLand, Florida. How many tournaments are going to be played down there? I don't know, but South Florida 35-20 against Oklahoma State 29-24. They play at noon in DeLand, Florida. Of course, Stetson is in DeLand, and Stetson has a very good team, one of the best teams in the country. So little Stetson, watch them closely. Hartford 26-29, another team that didn't have a winning record, playing at Stetson. But you got South Florida and Oklahoma State all pretty good. But again, I'd almost go ahead and say Stetson probably is going to win that tournament. But we'll watch it closely. Games played in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Of course, it's still cold up there. UCLA 36-19. Let's go to our phones. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Vestavia Hills,
Alabama, and the home of the Sanford Bulldogs.
Sanford Bulldogs. Sanford Bulldogs are in Homewood.
Well,
Donbrook Lawn.
Yeah, I'm going over these brackets right now, and I've already picked a couple of teams to make it through. You would not believe how easy Coastal Carolina's bracket is, Mike. They've got UConn and Washington, and then a team out of Brooklyn. Coastal will coast. They're playing that game in Conway. They've got home court.
They got Washington University coming from Seattle.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
South Carolina. Wow.
Hey, they'll cream them, so you can go ahead and put Coastal Carolina out of the Sun Belt down as one of the super region teams. What do you think?
Yeah, you'd think so. I don't know if they'd be able to host or not, but they definitely won the Sun Belt regular season and pretty much cruised through the Sun Belt championship. Troy, Carter's been unbelievable out of the bullpen, but Coach Smart decided to start him, and he walked 4 guys, hit a guy, and next thing you know, they're down 4-1. So
and that was a
I don't know if if they had to do it all over if they'd have started him or not.
Well, I'm sure Coach Smart has questioned himself. Of course, this guy, when he's good, he's real good, but when he's bad, he's real bad, and that's exactly what happened again in the championship game of the Sun Belt. Troy gives up 5 quick runs, and heck, it's all pretty much all over after that. Isn't that right?
I think Coach Smart, though, what is it now? As a player and as a coach, he's been in over 1,000 games as a Troy Trojan. So
isn't that amazing?
I guess he knows a little bit more than we do.
I know, and he does deserve to make a mistake every now and then.
Congratulations, though, for them to get into the Georgia Regional. I mean, unfortunately, they're in. A lot of people consider one of the toughest regionals. A lot of people thought Duke would be a #1 seed, and you got Georgia that has a lot of really good pitching. and then you got Campbell, that's a pretty decent team as well. So Troy's going to have their hands full, especially Duke in that first game. Duke's got a really good pitcher that'll be going against Troy in that first game.
Well, of course, that's what it's all about. It's going to be good pitching. I was watching a show, SEC show. It was a bracket show, and they were talking about teams to watch. And one guy said Troy is a team you better watch because of their good pitching. Would you say that?
Well, I mean, you got, Crane, who's definitely a big-time pitcher, and then you got, Orsby that's done really well, and then Levi Thomas, the freshman's pitched really well. So, and
then of course our reliever, when he's on, he's as good as there is in baseball, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the problem with Troy is after the starters leave, Carter's pretty much been it. They pretty much pitch him in every game, and need some of these other guys to step up and help out.
Yeah, tell me about Levi Thomas, though, Mike. I don't know a lot about him. I know he's young.
We talked about him the other day. He's a kid from Coleman.
Oh, he's from Coleman, a great program. You're right. I would say Coleman's one of the top high school programs in Alabama, and Troy got him as a pure freshman.
Yeah, they did.
Now, they've also played a pure freshman from Gardendale, Mike, who, he's not a great hitter, but they keep him in the lineup because he's such a good second baseman.
It's about Manning Early.
Yeah. And, of course, he's got a little pop in his bat and has made some things, but another pure freshman, though, that's playing well for Troy.
Yeah, he's had a good year. And then, of course, Rigsby Mosley's had a really great year.
And he's a freshman, too?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and he's their left fielder. Right now, Mike, let's look at him. All right, the leadoff batter is number 4 for Troy.
Oh, you're talking about Sanders?
Yeah, Sanders is as good a shortstop as there is around. And I think he broke a Troy record for most runs scored. Then the number 2 batter is your third baseman, isn't that right?
Yeah, Drew Frederick.
Drew Frederick, and he's having a great year. Is a very tough out. And then, of course, the number 4 batter for Troy is Joey Dennison. And, guys, what more could you say about the year he's had?
Yeah, Dennison's number 3.
He's the number 3 batter. And number 4 batter is the center fielder, who I think is about as good as anybody. Lockridge, who can fly. And in fact, all 4 of these players that we just mentioned are real good on the bases. And then number 5 is the pure freshman left fielder, Mike. That's the
kid.
That was a freshman of the year.
Rigsby Mosley.
Yeah, Rigsby Mosley.
He's a redshirt freshman from Maryland, Florida.
Yeah. All right, so that's 5.
He's a big kid, though. He's 6'2", 180.
Yeah. And there's another kid that's starting to come around real good. Mike is the big first baseman. Is that who that is?
Yeah, he played a lot early in the season. He's really hitting the ball really well right now. He's what's his name? I'm looking at it right now.
But what I'm saying, these first 5 are as good as anybody we put up.
Cole Prestegard.
Yeah, Prestegard is starting to play real well. Coach set him down for a little.
From a place I've never heard of, Hampton Cove, Alabama.
Hampton Cove. That's up around Huntsville. Hampton Cove's up around Huntsville, and of course that's been.
He played at Scuba Community College.
Okay, boy, bless his heart. Bless his heart. I thought that was just a football school, but Prestegard is playing well right now, and then you look on down. You've got the kid, the second baseman is the last man in the order, but Manning Early, and then of course you've got
Chase Smart, who's you never know when he'll get a hold of one.
That's right. So Chase Smart, you've got to say he's a solid hitter. So really, Troy's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 what I call tough outs, Mike. That's not bad.
No, I mean they're definitely a good hitting team. They just don't hit for a lot of power, but usually, they get a lot of hits throughout a game.
Now, if you threw some pitchers, and of course people are bragging about Crane, and how good is Crane, Mike?
Well, I mean, he's pitched phenomenal the last 2 or 3 starts. I mean, the biggest issue with Crane is, how long can he go? You hope he can do a complete game, save some pitching. Duke's 40-15 and went 19-11 in the ACC, and ACC is a really good baseball league. So
they are.
Troy's definitely going to have their hands full.
No question about it. But now I would say they probably will throw Crane, don't you think?
I'd be shocked. I mean, you got to win that first game to get to that second game.
Yeah. So Crane, the ace will go.
If you win on Friday, you get to play on Saturday night.
When is the last time you heard the word ace? You used to hear it all the time in baseball, but you don't hear it as much as you used to, because I reckon the day of the reliever. But so Crane's
a big dude. He's 6'5". He looks like a major league pitcher.
Yeah, he does. And then, of course, they've got a couple of more good starters, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Orsby and Levi Thomas are definitely two good starters.
And Thomas.
You want them to go as far as they can, though, in that first game, pitching-wise.
Yeah. And then, of course, they've got the kid that, hey, if he's on, he's as good as they is in America, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he doesn't throw that hard, though. Carter only throws an 84-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah. But he throws sidearm. He throws submarine.
Yeah, he's got a unique delivery.
Yeah. And like I said, when he's on, if he's got his control, he is very good. And when he doesn't have his control, he's not very good. And that's exactly what happened to Troy in the game for the championship against Coastal Carolina. But I
wonder what kind of crowd Troy will bring over there. That's going to be a really easy drive to Athens, other than getting through Atlanta.
Well, I tell you what, and while you're doing it, go ahead and get me reservations at the Holiday Inn. That's where the team's going to be staying. I'm going whether I can find anybody to go with me or not. I'm going to go. This is fun.
I just hope you can get through Atlanta traffic.
Get through Atlanta traffic. Yeah, but I tell you, this is going to be fun. A fun weekend if you love Troy and love their baseball program, and like I do. And I can't think of a better place to be. I really can't.
We've been to a lot of fun places to see Troy play. Went and saw them play Ole Miss one time. Then we went.
I tell you, one of the proudest.
Went to Nashville, and they played Vanderbilt. And Tyler Ray, the kid from Hoover, pitched the shutout, and they beat Oklahoma State. I think that's still got to be the greatest win in Troy baseball history.
Oh yeah, you beat a team like Oklahoma State in the championships. You're right. But I tell you, another big game, Mike.
I went to Tallahassee and saw him beat Alabama.
Yeah, that was a big win. Beat them twice, didn't he?
Yeah, I only got to see one of them, but I saw the first one.
Well, we're awfully proud of this Troy baseball team. I was looking at some of these brackets. I'll tell you another team that's real good, Mike, that used to be in Troy's conference, is Stetson. And they got and they're going to play, they got a region. Can you believe DeLand, Florida got a region?
The Stetson Hatters?
Yeah. They're 45-11, Mike. 45-11.
Tennessee Tech, who Troy took 2 or 3 of early in the season, they got in the regional at Ole Miss, and they only lost 7 games the whole season.
And Troy beat them Troy beat them 2
out of 3, but I mean they only lost 7 games, and 2 of the losses were to Troy.
Yeah. That's probably how Troy gets in the tournament, don't you think, by beating teams like that?
But that's just amazing.
But, look at this bracket, DeLand, and this is a good Stetson team that used to play in the same league that Troy played. I've seen Stetson many times, the green and the gold. They're 45-11, and they play Hartford, bless their hearts. Hartford is 26-29, and they made the tournament.
They must have won their conference tournament.
Yeah. And then South Florida, 35-20 against Oklahoma State. I would think those two would probably be pretty good, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
So Stetson will had a good shot at it, and I was looking at Minneapolis, Minnesota is going to be another one of the host teams, and I don't know if this is where the Twins play or not, but UCLA plays Gonzaga, and then Canisius plays Minnesota. Minnesota was 41-13, but I don't know how good a league that is up north in the Big Ten. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't think it's that good of baseball, but you never know. I mean, they have like a really good pitcher, a real good ace.
You remember that team that used to surprise us every year when we were playing in the Division II championships. That team from Connecticut, you remember that team? They would come down every year. They're so good.
Yeah, I do.
They were good, and they were from the north. All right, there's another region at Ole Miss, Mike. Ole Miss is hosting the. They play Tennessee. Missouri State plays Tennessee Tech. Like you said, Tech is 48-9. Tennessee Tech is, and Missouri State's 29-15. And then the other game in that bracket is St. Louis 38-18 at Ole Miss 46-15. This is the best Ole Miss team since the early 60s, Mike.
Yeah, Ole Miss has had a good team for a long time.
You know, one of their top players is a guy that was also a great basketball player, Donnie Kessinger, and he played Major League Baseball with the Cubs. His son is a big-time player at Ole Miss.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, all right, but looking at that bracket.
You know how much fun that outfield is there. You know, all the people come in with the chairback seats, and everybody's tailgating and drinking out there.
I thought that was Mississippi State. I thought that was Mississippi State, but
yeah, that's Ole Miss too.
Yeah, you and I went to a region there. You remember that?
Yeah, Troy got beat 2 games.
Yeah. Okay, this is a tournament game that you better watch closely. Is being played at Fayetteville, Arkansas. Of course, Arkansas has got a heck of a team. They play Oral Roberts, and Oral Roberts for years, they've gotten a lot of exposure for their church with their baseball team. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and they're good in basketball usually too.
Yeah, and of course they play at Arkansas. Arkansas is 38-18. Southern Miss is another good program, and Troy did well against them during the regular season, I think. 43-16 versus Dallas Baptist, who are 40-19. You got to go with Arkansas here, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. What great golfer played at Dallas Baptist?
What great golfer played at Dallas Baptist? I could tell you.
The great Colin Montgomery played at Dallas Baptist.
What? Colin Montgomery?
Yeah.
From England?
That's right.
He he came to the States to play college golf with Dallas Baptist.
That's right.
Man, I didn't know that. You learn something every day. Okay, Lubbock, Texas, Mike, is another one of the brackets out in the West. They got New Mexico State 40-20 against Texas Tech 39-17. Then you got Louisville 43-17 against Kent State. These are all good teams. Who would you like here?
I like Louisville. Louisville's been really good for a long time.
Yeah, they've won 43 games. So in that bracket, Austin, Texas, and boy, Texas used to have the great teams, and they're still good. They play Indiana. Texas A&M. Excuse me, 39-20. Then you got Texas Southern 27-26 at Texas, 37-20. Who is the best player to ever come out of the University of Texas, Mike?
Roger Clemens.
That's right. And their coach there won more games than anybody for a long time.
Yeah, Augie Garrido.
Yeah, that's right, Augie. Yeah, exactly. This guy's a guru.
Watching college baseball kind of reminds me of Beach Week growing up as a kid. I always remember going to the beach after school was out and always been able to watch baseball down there.
Yeah. I'll tell you another thing, too, about the playoffs, and you and I remember this going to Tuscaloosa, and came as close, I reckon, to going to the College World Series that year, ladies and gentlemen. A lot closer than people thought. If we beat Alabama in that last game, Mike, we played North Carolina for the right to go to the College World Series. Isn't that right?
No, you had to beat Alabama twice.
Oh, I would have had to beat Alabama twice.
Yeah, Alabama blew Troy out there in that game. We left in the third or fourth inning, I remember.
Well, we had that kid, that right fielder was such a good player for us.
Troy had their chance on that Saturday night, and that's when it was tied 3-3, and Alabama beat them with a single and won the game 4-3.
But it doesn't take long.
Troy has never ever won 2 games in a row. They've never won
In the
Friday
playoffs?
game and the Saturday game. Until they do that, they'll never have a chance to get to a super regional.
You're exactly right.
You can't come out of the losers bracket. You just don't have the pitching, especially when you're going against a bigger program.
Yeah. No question about it. But now, let me tell you, one thing about it, they all have the same number of scholarships. Hey, this is the easiest way for a team that's not a big school to win a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, Coastal Carolina just did it 2 years ago.
Exactly.
And even in the Sun Belt.
But what I'm saying,
Southern Conference.
where you want to believe this or not, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to believe this or not, I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to say it 3 times. If you want to believe this or not, hey, Troy's got a shot at going to the College World Series if they play well in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they got a better shot of ever going anywhere in baseball than they did.
I just mentioned I mentioned all these outs. Outs is how you keep up with baseball. How many outs is it? Well, I called this, Mike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 really tough outs in the Troy lineup. That's not bad.
We'll see how they play against Duke. If they beat Duke, who knows? Georgia did lose 19 games.
All right, tell us about Mississippi State, who is playing real well right now. And they all started playing well when they came back and beat Troy the other night in Birmingham. But it shows everybody that Troy can definitely play well. Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a definite threat in their region, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, what region are they in?
All right, they play Oklahoma in the Tallahassee region, and then they play the winner of the Sanford, Florida game if they win.
That's great. The Casey Dunn, they won their conference championship, and he got Sanford in. Sanford really got better as the year went on. Troy swept Sanford.
Yeah, and another thing that we want to say here is they won 15 straight games in the middle of the season, Mike, and I think that was after they had lost to Troy. Casey Dunn.
Auburn's going up to Raleigh to play.
I know it, and we'll be mentioning that in a minute. And gosh, everybody raves about Auburn, and I've seen them play Troy twice, and there was no question in my mind that Troy was better than them both games they played them.
Well,
I know they have great pitching that they probably didn't throw.
Auburn's ace, is supposed to be the number 1 pick in the draft. So
Yeah.
Troy never faced him.
Yeah, I know it. We never played. That's the truth. We've never played.
Midweek games is hard to tell. You can't ever tell, because nobody ever pitches their top pitchers.
Yeah, you're right there. But I want to mention that about those teams and look for Stetson. I'm going to put a circle around Stetson in their region. That's another small school. They probably don't have any more than 5,000 students, Mike, and there they are having a chance to play for a possible chance to play for the World Championship, World Series.
Stetson's a school that doesn't play football.
Yeah, you're right. I want to mention again this Ole Miss team is one of the best teams they've had in a long time. Mike, they've had 2 players that played for Ole Miss that later on were very good professional baseball players. They both later on played in the major leagues. Do you know who I'm talking about? You probably would not know.
For the Chicago Cubs, I can't think of his name.
Donnie Kessinger. But the other one was Jake. His name was Jake Scott. Well, he was a football player at Ole Miss, and he later on played in major leagues with the Yankees. And I can't remember his last name, but that was the name I was trying to figure. But Ole Miss looks like they're in pretty good shape in their region. Oral Roberts, as we mentioned, will be going up against Arkansas.
Who's LSU playing?
All right, we're moving on down the line. This is a play at Lubbock, Texas. Louisville, you like them in that tournament against Texas Tech. Here's one in Austin, Indiana against Texas A&M. Texas A&M played well down the stretch, didn't they? Did they win the SEC?
No, Ole Miss won the SEC.
And everybody's been talking about Auburn.
Florida won the regular season, but Ole Miss won the tournament.
Yeah. Okay.
Florida's the overall #1 seed. Thank
Yeah.
God Troy didn't have to go to Gainesville.
Yeah. All right. LSU plays in Corvallis, Oregon. Now, isn't that something for them to have to go that far?
I mean, Oregon State's won two national championships probably in the last 10 years.
And they're 44-10, playing Northwestern State. Can you believe Northwestern State made the tournament, Mike?
So 2 Louisiana schools are out in Corvallis.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long trip.
Northwestern State. Thank you, man. I got a guy that brings my coffee to me, Mike. Isn't that great? Thank you. Guy that you watched grow up. All right, Mike. Looking at this thing in Arkansas. All right, we're moving down toward Texas, and don't ever forget about Texas, how good their program is. Texas and Texas A&M, so that's going to be a tough region. And then like you said, LSU's playing well at the right time. They finished 37-25, and they'll play San Diego State and then Northwestern State out of Nacogdoches, Mike. Isn't that right? North Nacogdoches, Louisiana, is playing at Oregon State, who is 44-10. Looking at Stanford, the bracket in Stanford got Baylor and Cal State, Fullerton. All those teams are good, these California teams. And then Wright State 39-15 at Stanford 44-10. And that gives you a look. And now I was trying to find Auburn. Did I skip Auburn somewhere?
Auburn's playing in Raleigh against NC State.
Okay, that's up top here. Now, everybody talks about, well, no, Mike, the Raleigh connection is, no, Chapel Hill, excuse me. Chapel Hill's got North Carolina, and they're always good, 38-18. And then Purdue and Houston are both in that bracket. And Auburn, here they are right here from Raleigh, and they play at 1 p.m. on Friday, playing against Northeastern. Auburn shouldn't have a problem there. I don't know how good North Carolina State is. They're 40-16 though. They play Army, so Auburn's in a region I think they can possibly win. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're in a great region.
So we'll be watching that closely, and it's just a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. This is very similar. It reminds you a lot of basketball, doesn't it? With all these brackets. But how many teams are actually in this tournament, Mike?
I'm really not sure.
Let's see. There are 4 teams.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
there's 4 in each.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 13 times 4 is I hear a little girl, and that would be 52 teams, Mike.
How many?
I've got 52 teams. I counted 52 teams in the tournament.
I'll have to check. I'm not sure.
No, I made a mistake. It's more than that. It's 24. There we go. It's 64 teams.
So just like the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, in the NCAA. But now listen to this. There are over 300 Division I baseball programs in the country.
Yeah, it's probably more than that in basketball.
Yeah, but that's 64 out of 300 and something. So Troy did well just to make the tournament, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, what they said, Troy was one of the last 4 teams in.
It did say that.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to have to play Troy, would you?
No, I mean Troy's got a good team. It's just all about pitching, how those guys pitch.
And they've got
Seen them come up with the hits.
Yeah, no question about it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And ladies and gentlemen, the game will be played in Athens, which is not an hour on the other side of Atlanta. But the problem is the word other side of Atlanta.
3 hours from Birmingham, and what would you say? 4 hours from Troy?
Yeah, probably 4 hours. You get on, if you can make it to the other side of Atlanta, you're okay. Is that right?
Well, you could go online and get that Peach Pass and get in that fast lane where it'd be a lot quicker.
You know what? How much does that cost?
it's really cheap, actually.
And you can go online and get it. See if you can go online and get one for your
Either
daddy.
that or you can get in it and get a speeding ticket about 8 months later. Like,
To tell him.
or not a speeding ticket, but a illegal driving in the pass lane.
Yeah. And didn't you say they had a perfect picture of our tag?
Oh, yeah. We went under about 20 cameras.
But you know what? We'd still be in line if we hadn't done it, don't you think?
They're mentioning NFL players in the NFL from colleges. Who would you say has the most NFL players?
In baseball?
College? No, which college has the most NFL players?
Southern Cal. LSU.
LSU has 62 players currently on NFL rosters. Alabama's second at 59.
Isn't that amazing?
So that just tells you what kind of talent LSU has not beat Alabama since 2011.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Third is Miami. Fourth is Ohio State, and fifth is Florida.
Boy, that is something. That is something.
It's incredible that the LSU has that many players in the NFL.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a little bit about maybe coaching.
But another thing it says too, it says that it's got real good high school football in Louisiana too.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Saban recruits Louisiana big time.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we appreciate all.
Alabama signed a quarterback. A lot of people don't realize they brought in a kid from Arkansas at the last minute.
I didn't know that. What about him?
He's a kid that was signing with Arkansas State.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's really amazing. They ended up offering this guy at the last minute. I guess it's just another sign that
they need another quarterback. If you think about it,
it's just another sign that Hurts is probably going to be out the door.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's going to be a lot to watch up closely. This time of year is when they do most of their signing. Did you know that? This is when Alabama has their big to do, and Auburn has theirs. Having their.
The quarterback's name is Lane Hatcher.
Lane Hatcher. And is he a drop back quarterback or what?
From Little Rock's Pulaski Academy.
Well, that's amazing. Of course, the camps, they have their camps. All Alabama and Auburn and all of them have their camps this time of year. You remember that?
Yeah,
and this is when they do a lot of their signing. A lot of people don't realize this, but most of these kids that are in their camps are kids that they're going to offer. Isn't that right?
That's usually the case.
And, of course, we'll watch this closely as time goes on. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Welcome to Trojan Detail.
Hey, I've been hunting. I got my truck filtered. Can you get it?
We surely can. We do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet and Troy Nissan.
You do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet?
Yes, we do.
Hey, I got a motorcycle.
We do them as well.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Millie Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks over here.
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
I'm here at Trojan Detail getting my car detailed.
Bring your vehicle to Trojan Detail. We do it all.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
As an attorney with 5 years of experience in more than 100 cases in Pike County Probate Court, Michael Bunn is the only candidate with the experience to get the job done on day one, and that's important. The probate judge handles complex legal matters, including adoptions, involuntary mental commitments, guardianships, conservatorships, and estates. Michael Bunn has the experience to get the job done, and he cares about our county. Michael will continue Judge Allen's policy of not issuing marriage licenses, which is important to protect Pike County values. Experienced, conservative, Michael Bunn.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. On a sad note, I want to mention a man that was such a great influence on children and people that growing up in the Pike County area. Joe Boyd. He died. Joe Boyd from Brundage is being remembered as and reflected on by his fellow faculty at Pike County High School, his students, and the community at large. Boyd passed away Thursday after a long battle with an illness, and of course, very well known Clint Foster, a member of the Pike County Board of Education, is a 1989 graduate of Pike County High School. Speaking for himself and many others, said Boyd's influence has been and will continue to be far-reaching. For us as students, his influence was as a disciplinarian. Foster said, when we were called to his office, you left knowing that you had been disciplined. But he was fair. It was a different matter who you were. You got what you needed, and a man that will forever be remembered in the Pike County school system. Want to congratulate good friends of mine, I was just skimming through the newspaper, and I noticed where Whaley Construction Company of Troy had been honored. The Whaley Construction Company had been honored by the State Contractors Association of Alabama, and I want to congratulate our good friend Bob Ellick Whaley, and being named to the Hall of Fame for contractors in the state of Alabama. And of course, Whaley Construction Company, located right here in Troy, Alabama, is one of the leading contractors in the country, or in these parts. They have built a lot of buildings on Troy University's campus, and they were, and I'm looking for that piece of that article that I wanted to read to you this morning. I thought it was a very good, great honor to be nominated, just to be nominated for this honor, but at the same time, congratulations on becoming a member of the, and we'll find it in a moment. And of course, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Virginia Green Nowling has spent her entire career helping others and pursuing justice. A proud Republican with strong conservative values, Virginia has served as both a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney and has extensive experience in the areas of juvenile and family law. Virginia is strong and decisive and will issue fair and impartial rulings to everyone. Please vote Virginia Green Nowling. Paid political advertisement by Nowling for District Judge Committee, P.O. Box 596, Troy, Alabama 36081.
Welcome to Trojan Detail.
Hey, I've been hunting. I got my truck filtered. Can you get it?
We surely can. We do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet and Troy Nissan.
You do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet?
Yes, we do.
Hey, I got a motorcycle.
We do them as well.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Millie Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
I'm here at Trojan Detail getting my car detailed.
Bring your vehicle to Trojan Detail. We do it all.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hi, I've got the Lane Hatcher guy's Alabama quarterback's numbers.
Okay, Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham with some information about a quarterback that has been signed by the University of Alabama.
He's he was three-time All-State selection. Hatcher at Arkansas State record holder for career passing with 15,907 yards.
Oh man, that is phenomenal.
Career passing touchdowns, 188. Single game passing yards, 757 in a game.
Gosh, bum. And what's this kid's name? Lane?
Lane Hatcher. He threw for 5,766 yards and 66 touchdowns last year.
Oh man, that's almost like the guy we signed from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's almost like Corey Robinson numbers.
Yeah.
5,766 yards, 66 touchdowns, and his team went 14-0 and won the state championship.
Well, did you say that Arkansas State was the only team that?
Yeah, that's what he said. It's crazy. Hatcher told Arkansas Online, I was thinking I'm going to Arkansas State for a month from now to packing my bags tonight and going down tomorrow to Tuscaloosa. So, I mean, just an amazing last-minute guy they picked up.
Boy, but you know, and of course, not knocking Arkansas State's program. I mean, their program's right there with Troy and so forth, and you know, a good program in my mind. But why want more big schools on him, Mike?
I mean, he's only a 3-star.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How big a guy is he? Sounds like a tall guy, drop back guy, strictly a drop back.
I mean, he's definitely a spread guy. I don't know. You know, it's not giving his height in dimensions.
Yeah. Mike, I want to go back to
it's raining crazy up here in Birmingham. What's the weather like in Troy?
Well, I don't know, but it rained during the night last night. And, of course, over the period of 4 or 5 days, Troy got a lot of rain.
You know, Ernesto hit a direct hit in Laguna Beach when it came ashore, and y'all didn't even
well, we were down the. Let me tell you something. We were down the beach visiting with a cousin. And we sat through the bad part of the storm. But it rained quite hard down there yesterday.
Okay.
Or actually on Monday it rained quite a bit. Mike, I want to mention on our show today, ladies and gentlemen, that Alec Whaley Jr., the president, presents his father, Alec Sr., with his Hall of Fame award at the Alabama Bill South banquet in January. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read this. This is quite an honor for a local contractor. In January of this year, Alec Whaley Sr. was inducted into the Alabama Construction Hall of Fame at the Alabama ACGC Bill South banquet. His son, Alec Whaley II, had been named the president of the ACGC about an hour before. Alec II introduced his father and handed the senior Whaley the Hall of Fame award. So Alec Jr. Was named president of the AGC Bill South Corporation, and then of course later on in the banquet he presented his father with the Hall of Fame recognition, and of course to be recognized by your peers, I would have to say it's very special, and to do it while you're still alive is still really special. Usually they don't do that until you're dead, and that you're trying to figure out something nice to say about you. And but it's great honor for Alec Whaley Sr. He worked his way up through Auburn, graduating in building construction in 1967. He started Whaley Construction, had dwindled down to $168,000 at one time, and then Alec Sr. bought it in 1971, and annual volume of construction is more than 100 times that now. So from going to $168,000 a year in construction to 100 times that now. I did the field engineering, and I also bid the work and did the takeoff. Alec Sr. said, to say that we were intimately involved with each job is an understatement. Like what he was saying is they did it all back then. Whaley Construction Company now does conventional design, build, bid build work, design, build, construction management, program management, and hybrids, depending on customers' needs. It works in the private sector and is heavily involved in the industrial and institutional sectors. And while working hard building his business, Alec Sr. also worked to build the construction industry. He became involved in the Alabama AGC in 1972 and served multiple roles before chapter president in 2008. Whaley currently is the National AGC Life Governor, past chairman of the Alabama AGC State PAC Committee, and serves on the AGC of America Committee, so very involved. Alec the second joined the company in 1998, and after working 8 years with construction giant Floor Daniel, he became president of Whaley Construction in 2007. But it goes on. It's a very good article in the in Friday's Messenger, and I wanted to relay some of that. We've got an all-American contractor right here in Troy, Alabama.
Yeah, Mr. Whaley's a really good guy. As a kid growing up, we spent a lot of time out there at his house, and him and his wife were always really gracious, and we always had a good time out there growing up in high school.
Well, that's where most of the people in Pike County learned to ski, in that little Youngblood pond, Mike.
Yeah, I know Blake Crow and Sally Green definitely did.
That's right, and I can remember in the old days, those guys, Burton Green, I can see him right now skiing barefooted.
Yeah, they had one of the coolest little cabins next to their house, so we used to go out there and play pool and hang out.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a lot of fun. Well, Auburn go and win the Final Four next year, or go to the Final Four next year. Austin Wiley, the phenom out of Spain Park, who was part of the Adidas Nike Chuck Person scandal, where Chuck Person was arrested, and two other assistants had to leave the program, had to sit out last year, but instead of going to the NBA, he decided to come back, and now Bryce Brown and Jared Harper are coming back as well. They both put their names early into the NBA draft, but Auburn's going to have a really good team next year. Purifour, who was also suspended, will be back, but you're basically putting in a 7-footer that could be one of the best 7-footers in the country, and Austin Wiley playing for Auburn next year.
But now their leading scorer left and is leaving. Why is that?
Yeah, Mustafa Herring decided to transfer, but you know, they've got 4 guys that are big-time players, and Auburn won the SEC, and now you bring that Wiley kid in, and man, Bruce Pearl is going to have an amazing team next year.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be something to see, and we'll be looking forward to that. Of course, a lot going on with baseball.
SEC meetings are going on down in Destin right now as well, so a lot of people will be interested to see what comes out of those meetings. There's always a lot of stuff going on, a lot of transfer rule questions going on about these kids wanting to transfer within the SEC, and it's not allowed. And a lot of it's going on with this Brandon Kennedy guy that was running second-string offensive line at Alabama, but now he wants to transfer to Auburn.
Are you serious?
And they're not granting the release, so it's not allowed in the SEC, but some coaches allow it, some coaches don't. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this kid.
Well, there's a good article of Saban really doesn't like that rule. He does not like that rule. So if he doesn't like it, Mike, something's going to happen.
Well, it's just going to be interesting to see. The only time he could go to Auburn, but he'd have to sit out a year. He's trying to play immediately is what the deal is.
Yeah. Want to mention Oklahoma State and Alabama will meet for the national championship in golf today, Mike. Oklahoma State beat Auburn 3-2 yesterday.
It's not fair. Oklahoma State's playing on their home course.
In Stillwater, Oklahoma, you're right. It sure isn't. But Auburn, it came down to the two of them. It could have been Alabama and Auburn for the national championship, but Oklahoma State ended up winning. They have a great golf program at Oklahoma State, Mike. They had it for years.
Well, they have an unbelievable amount of money when it comes to facilities.
Oh yeah, they got a guy that's pretty well done.
T. Boone Pickens is a billionaire.
Yeah, I know it. He gives them anything they want, no question about it. You notice that coach hadn't gone anywhere. He shoot Tebow. If we looked at it, no telling what that guy gets a year.
Coach Gundy.
Yeah.
I think he only makes 4.5.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a big week heading up for Troy with school being out, camps are going up.
I think the Troy coaches are going down to Dothan. I think the tour is going down there, and then I think they're going to Mobile as well, the Trojan tour as far as the coaches.
Yeah, that's right. Now,
going around and promoting right now.
There was one group down there last night, and I don't know if that was football or not, but one group was down there last night. Of course, with the baseball tournament going on this weekend, and a lot of teams from the SEC, Mike. I think something like 10 teams from the SEC will be playing in the championships.
How about this? The Women's Open, of course, a lot of people probably don't watch a lot of women's golf, but the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open at Shoal Creek here in Birmingham, and my mother-in-law is a volunteer. She's helping out there, and they've had to cancel practice rounds 2 straight days now.
Because of the rain?
Because of the rain, yeah.
Oh, me.
So hopefully they'll get some decent weather later on this week where this is probably the biggest tournament in golf as far as women's golf, the U.S. Open. And hopefully they'll have decent weather this weekend. This rain's been awful.
Want to mention that starting Monday, June the 11th, the Pike Liberal Arts baseball team and softball programs will have their summer camp coming up. So congratulations. I noticed that the Troy American Legion team, Mike, is made up mostly of Pike Liberal Arts kids. Boy, they really built a program out there, haven't they?
Yeah, Coach Ponder's done a great job, and the sky's the limit if he decides to stay there. There's going to be a lot of other schools that are going to be coming after him and offering him a job either in private school or.
I believe he's got college coaching looking at him, don't you think? I think he'll be a coach in college.
He's definitely got 5A, 6A, 7A schools looking at him in baseball. He's a big time coach, and whether he wants to stay in Troy and stay at Pike is up to him, I would imagine. All the private school coaches are down in Panama City Beach at the private school meetings down in Edgewater right now. So I'm sure all those guys are having a good time. I worked down there last year, and I got a couple guys that are working down there this year. And unfortunately, the weather has not been great, but that's always a fun event to go to down there.
No question about it. I want to mention a few things about Troy's baseball team, ladies and gentlemen, that they were talking about on TV. Talking about how good this Troy pitching staff is, Mike. And these are the national, SEC guys talking about it. saying that people better beware of Troy's pitching staff, who gave up an average of 3.25 per game, which was one of the tops in the country. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's good.
And, of course, they're led by their senior pitcher, Darren Osby, and then their other top line pitcher, I reckon Crane. Is he a senior? Yeah, he's a senior, too.
Yeah, Crane's the number one.
Yeah, Crane and of course, both of them are good. If Osby's on, he can be a big difference in this whole tournament, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big-time player.
Of course, Crane pitched for Troy in the second tournament game on Friday against Louisiana Lafayette. The senior also pitched.
Yeah, that really helped a lot. Levi Thomas started that first game, and that really helped out as far as the pitching. Troy was dominant in their 3 wins. It's hard to believe they gave up 11 runs to Coastal.
Yeah, no question. All right. Also, ladies and gentlemen, so you've got Crane and you got Oglesby. Then you've got, and no question, when this kid's on, he's as good as anybody, C.J. Carter. But they're getting where they can't trust it.
All about control. If he walks and hits guys.
I know it. I mean, he in the first inning against Coastal, he walked how many batters? 4.
I think 3, and then he hit a guy.
Yeah, but when he's on, he is almost unhittable, and so hopefully he'll pitch well. And then you've got Corey Childress, who I think is really good out of the middle reliever, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, his ERA is real high.
And this guy Jackson Kofer is a kid that comes in and pitches sort of crazy a little bit, and it sort of puts he makes batters have to adjust to him, don't you think?
Yeah, he's got a good ERA. Here's the numbers. Andrew Crane has got a 2.82 ERA, and he's 7-4 on the season. After that, C.J. Carter has a 3.72 ERA. He's 8-5 on the season. Darren Osby has got a 4.05 ERA. He's 7-1 though, record-wise. And then after that, you got Levi Thomas, who's been phenomenal. 1.01 ERA and is 2-0.
Is he a left-handed kid?
I don't know if Thomas is left-handed or not.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. After that, you got a guy named Zach Lightley. He's got a 1.99 ERA. Jackson Cofer's ERA is 2.45. Max Newton's ERA is 3.22. And then you got Corey Childress' ERA is 5.60. And then you got the kid from Troy, or Banks, Rush Hickson's ERA is 4.69, and he's 3-2 on the season. Yeah. So somebody out of this bullpen's got to step up for Troy to have a chance to get.
Somebody tells me that the kid from Troy, if his slider is working, it's as good a pitch as you'll see. Is that right? Have you heard that about him?
I have heard that about him.
So when he's on, he is really on, and hopefully he'll pitch well in this tournament. But now,
Joey Dennison finished the year at 387. Of course, the year's not over. 6 home runs and 74 RBIs.
74 RBIs. That shattered a Troy record.
If he gets one more RBI, he breaks Tom King's RBI record.
All right, and that's been Tom King was a great one too.
Matt Sanders is right behind him. I mean, a lot of people don't mention Matt Sanders. He's hitting 379 with 5 home runs, 28 RBIs.
Yeah, and he scored all these runs. He broke a record in runs scored, but and a lot of it has to do with batting in front of Dennison. Is that right?
Well, no, he's the leadoff man. Yeah, that's right. But Ramsey Mosley has had a phenomenal year as a redshirt freshman. 330, 5 home runs, 47 RBIs. And then Drew Frederick as a sophomore, 329, 5 home runs, 51 RBIs.
And for somebody to tell me that he's faster than the kid in center field, that's pretty fast, isn't it?
Then Brody Bender, who's really played well his senior year, he's got 3 home runs, 36 RBIs. He's hit 310. So Troy has got 6 starters that hit over 300. So that is pretty good.
That is really good, no question.
And the amazing thing is Chase Smart. I mean, I still would say is one of the best high school hitters I've ever seen.
Me too.
If Chase ever gets hot, I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. It really is.
Yeah, you're right. what I'm saying, there are a lot of tough outs, and so Troy's not going to be easy to.
And now Prestigard's got 6 home runs and 29 RBIs as well. You know, he's hit 2 home runs in the last 3 or 4 games, so he's a big bat that they'll have to find a way to get him in the game as well.
Well, let me ask you this: they say the kid that is really on fire is the kid that
Sadler Goodwin.
Sadler Goodwin, who's a pitcher, isn't he? Normally a pitcher?
Well, he's a pitcher and a hitter.
But
yeah, he's hitting 235 with 1 home run and 22 RBIs.
I mean, he's got a little pop in his bat too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hit a grand slam in the Sun Belt tournament.
Yeah. So a lot of hot hitters for Troy. In fact, I'm looking at maybe 8 or 9 hitters that are tough outs, Mike.
Well, you got a legit 6 players hitting over 300, so that's pretty good.
That sure is. Now the kid from Gardendale,
Manning Early.
he's
got 5 home runs and 21 RBIs.
So he's got a little pop. He strikes out a lot, but he also got some pop, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's hard to believe Troy's got the leading home run guy on this team has 6 home runs. That's hard to believe.
Yeah. And I was looking, it's really, you're right, but now it's a team that's got more triples than any team in the country.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why, because Troy's not a huge ballpark, but you get it in those alleys that you can run all day long, can't you?
Yeah, here's a rundown on the triples. Denison has 3, Sanders has 5, Mosley has 5, Frederick has 3, Bender has 1, Lockridge has 7 triples. 7 triples. That's how it tells you how fast he is. Prestigard has 1, Manning Early has 1, Sadler Goodwin has 4.
I know, that's amazing.
A kid named Hunter Camplain has 1. Mason Rogers has 1, and that's the triples.
How many total triples is it?
It's the most Troy's ever had, 30.
30 triples. That is amazing. That is amazing. No question about it. Want to mention our good friends at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram on the bypass. Jason and all the great folks out there, ladies and gentlemen, they're dealing like nobody else is dealing right now with new and used cars and trucks. You know, they list them here in the paper, Mike, and of course this today's messenger goes out to everybody free. And they start with a 2002 Mitsubishi Montero, which is a vehicle you had at one time. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I had the old school Mitsubishi Montero. I mean, it was like a Range Rover.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a beautiful car.
Well,
I don't know if they've changed those up over the years.
Yeah. Well, it's just for $1,995. Is what, and then the 2002.
That's got to be a real old one. Maybe like the one I drove back to college. I drove that car back to college.
And these are used cars and trucks, and it goes to a 2009 Jeep Wrangler. Well, it was sold. 2017 Ram 2500 Laramie, $49,988, and boy, just some great selections of used cars and new cars and trucks today at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep on the of Troy on the bypass. Remember, you can go to the website at premiertroy.com and find out more about all the great deals going on at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Troy. Want to mention our good friends Mike out at Sisters today, and boy, for a great meal, you can't find a better meal than at Sisters today. The buffet is on today, starting at 11 o'clock. And Mike, even in the big cities, you don't run into a Sisters, do you?
No, I mean, definitely as far as the price point, the quality of food, I mean, it's definitely, I tell people all the time, I would do anything to have something like that in Birmingham.
Yeah.
You got meat and grease, but you don't have the buffet where you can, basically decide how much you want to eat.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's messenger, you get a sample ballot. It's on page 8A as a sample ballot, and I'm going to read it out to you. For governor, Tommy Battle, Scott Dawson, Bill Hightower, Kay Ivey, and Michael McAllister. These are on the Republican ticket. This is the Republican ballot. For lieutenant governor, Will Ainsworth, who you can see shooting his rifle or shotgun on it. Twinkle Andress Kavanaugh and Rusty Glover. For United States Representative Section or 2 Congressional District, you got Tommy Amerson, Bobby Bright, Rich Hobson, Barry Moore, and Martha Roby. Of course, Bright.
Wow, you got that many people running against each other on the Republican ticket?
That's right. All of these folks are running against each other. You know, Bobby Bright.
That is a lot of people.
You know, Bobby Bright held the seat at one time until Roby ran as a Republican and beat him the last time.
Yeah, Bobby Bright, was he an independent?
But now he's running as a Republican.
Okay.
All right, Attorney General Chase Bedsoe, Troy King, Steve Marshall, and Alice Martin. I like Troy King. He's a local guy, from Elba originally, and
he's a Troy grad.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here's one with a circle here for State Representative District number 89. Wes Allen and Marcus Paramore are the two running that.
We know both those guys pretty well.
That's right. That's going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough vote because everybody likes both of them. You know, they real like both of them.
It's funny, Johnny Williams. They both used to work for Johnny Williams in Troy's athletic department.
Exactly right. That's right. Exactly right. Tom Parker for Supreme Court and Lynn Stewart for the Supreme Court. For Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, I don't know these guys, but I remember seeing them on TV. Their ads: Deborah Jones and Brad Mendham and Sarah Hicks Stewart. I'm gonna just go with some of these names I have no idea about. I'm gonna go down here and see if I can come up with some other names that we know about. The Auditor, Commissioner of Agriculture, Public Service Commission. All of these. Here's one that's pretty well known here locally. For Circuit Court Judge, the 12th Judicial Circuit, place number 1, Henry Sonny Reagan or Josh Wilson. And of course, you probably know Josh Wilson, Mike. He grew up right here in our area. Of course, for District Court Judge, Pike County, place number 1. His one was this is for District Court Judge, Pike County, place number 1, Stephen Curtis, January, Jana Blair Ellis, and Virginia Green Nowling are the 3 candidates running for that court seat.
And this is just Republican candidates.
That's right. They're just Republican. For Pike County Judge of Probate, there are 2 well-known people, Michael Bunn and Alton Starling, going up against each other. The election now is next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then of course for a member of Pike County Board of Education District number 6, Deborah Fortune and Chris Wilkes running in that category. But for the first time that I've seen, this is the first ballot I've seen, and it's put out by Marcus Paramore in today's Messenger. So we'll be talking about this on up until to the big vote, and of course on Monday, anybody that wants to come stick their head in the door and say something good about their candidate, we're gonna have an open house here on Monday, Mike, getting ready for the big vote on Tuesday. So anybody that wants to be heard on local TV and on Facebook can go ahead and get in line, and we'll have all of you on our show on Monday. So that should be fun.
I tell you what, you've had a lot of candidates come on the show over the years, and I'll never forget when we had people from all over the state come in. What was that, several months ago? What was that, for the Senate race?
Yeah.
I mean, we had people come up from Mobile and people come up from like North Alabama coming on to the show.
Oh yeah, well, people want to get the name out, and of course, this is big time, and we go out to 8 county area live every morning on Channel 2. but we go out to hundreds of thousands to even millions and millions of people on Facebook, Mike.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Probably one of the bigger elections coming up in Troy that I can ever remember as far as some of the names. So definitely, hope people get out and vote, more importantly. And then I guess whatever happens, happens. Politics is one of those things where you kind of, in a small town like Troy, you got a lot of people that are friends with everybody. So it's kind of a tough thing, when you got a lot of good candidates running. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
No question about it. Of course, a lot to talk about this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes left.
Troy baseball is really the biggest thing to talk about right now. Going to the regionals and
Mike.
A lot of sports right now. I will say that Hallsteady lost his bet to me. The Cavs came back and won.
Yeah, how did they come back, Mike? They were down
again.
They were down, and were able to come back. What do you think?
Well, I mean, LeBron played phenomenal, and the Celtics couldn't shoot. They only scored 79 points. When do you see that in the NBA?
I know
game?
That was unreal.
And then Golden State won Game 7 on the road against.
But they were down. Golden State was down for a while, weren't they?
Oh, Golden State was down 17 at one time.
17. And was that for the championship?
Well, that was for the Western Conference Championship.
Yeah.
Pretty much the championship, because whoever won the West is going to beat Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have near the talent Golden State does. I mean, we got Curry and Durant and Thompson on the same team, and those are 3 phenomenal.
Well, right now, Love is not playing. What's wrong with him?
I think he's got a concussion.
Will he's not be able to play?
I'll say this. Harden and the Rockets played Golden State about as tough as you could, but when you lose Chris Paul, your point guard, your team leader for the last 2 games, that was really tough to come back from.
Mike, why can't I get involved in this? I bet I hadn't seen 5 minutes of it. The whole time.
I don't watch as much as I used to. Of course, I got 2 little baby girls. I'm watching.
I know it, but can you get into it? I just can't get into it. I don't know what the deal is.
I can get into the playoffs because they play defense. I got to watch. When they play defense, that's a lot better than the regular season when it's like a layup 3-point drill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll watch it. If you love sports, which I love sports, I'll watch a little bit of anything. Las Vegas, in their first year as an NHL franchise, I've even watched a little bit of that. They're about to maybe win a Stanley Cup.
Exactly right.
Can you imagine Las Vegas, the fan base, and the people that live out there having a team that wins the Stanley Cup? How crazy would that be?
Want to mention Bill Jackson Chevrolet on the bypass right here in Troy, and no better Chevrolet dealership will you find anywhere than Bill Jackson Chevrolet right here on the bypass.
Many cars he can put on that lot out there. He might have to buy some more cars.
Well, I tell you what, and it's impressive, the cars that they've got on the lot and cars they got to choose from. But one thing about them, they're one of the very few dealerships, ladies and gentlemen, in Alabama or anywhere that has all of the General Motors cars on their lot. They sell all General Motors cars.
Yeah, Jim does a good job out there marketing. And,
they've been in the business a long time. It's Daddy.
All that cancer awareness where they have the building peak, and he does a lot for the community, so it's good for him.
If you're looking for a Honda, no better place to go than Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan today. A good friend Garnet Rigsby and a great bunch. A great picture in today's Dothan Eagle, Mike, of Coach Neil Brown as they doing a stop at Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday night. But where they're going to be today is Greenville, Mike. They're going to be at Greenville at the Country Club. I mean, not the Country Club, but the one of the Robert Trent Jones facilities at noon. Actually 11 o'clock today. The Troy coaches will be there, and then they'll have their golf tournament right after that. But it should be a lot of fun. Coach Brown, Mike, really knows how to promote his program, and
he's a great self-promoter and a great marketing guy. I mean, what he's done has been phenomenal. I mean, we love Larry Bladney and what Coach Bladney brought to the program for 24 years, and we're not going to have Neil Brown much longer. Let's just be honest. I mean, he's going to get a big-time coaching job, but for what he's done with the community and just Troy University, as far as in football, these last 2 years, it's just been incredible. I mean, 10-3, 11-2. I mean, who knows where we'll go this year? I guess it all comes down to that quarterback play. If we get some good quarterback play, I mean, we could, beat Boise, and we got a chance to beat Nebraska.
You know who was down there last night was Mark Smart. He was down there last night. He got his big tournament, but he's down in Dothan last night promoting the program.
That's an hour job, so.
Yeah, and going to coach. Let me tell you this, Coach Cunningham. Listen to this, Mike. His team's going to Costa Rica and get 10 days of practice in.
Playing some games this summer.
Yeah, and they get 10 days of practice in. That's a no-brainer to me, man. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to replace Wesley Person. I assume Bernardo's back. Didn't Bernardo try to go?
I think Bernardo's back. You're right. I think he's back, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this basketball team too.
What if they can stay healthy? When he went down last year, that really just changed the whole look of the program. I mean, he's that big of an impact player. I mean, Person was a great player, but Bernardo was the kind of the glue to the team as far as how many games they can win. So.
Well, thank you, Mike, for calling. I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed our show today. Brought to you by some great sponsors, and we appreciate them so very much. You can watch us again today at 1:30 right here on your Channel 2 dial. I hope that you've enjoyed our show. See you tomorrow, bright and early, for Today in L.A.